For once, I could have really needed a Bodymeister.
ನಾನಾಗಿ ಹೇರ್ಲೆಸ್ಸು ಬದುಕಾಯ್ತು ಜಾಯ್ಲೆಸ್ಸು ಕೇಳಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸ್ಯಾಡ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಕಣ್ರಿ ಕೇಳಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಿರಿ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage and there has been a new Kannada language movie released a few weeks ago that's apparently pretty great. Garuda Gamana Rishabha Vahana. Unfortunately though, Austria is in lockdown right now because of COVID and all cinemas are closed. So I had no chance to watch it. Instead, I watched director Rajbir Shetty's previous film Ondu Muthiya Kate, which wasn't just his directorial debut, also written by himself, but also the first time that he acted in a movie, which also makes it a very self-deprecating thing, because Ondu Muthiya Kate tells the story of a balding 20-year-old bachelor, and his lack of hair is pretty much the focus of the film, at least at first and at least on the surface. The international title is Story of an Egg, and that egg is of course our protagonist Janardhan. At the beginning of the movie, his family's astrologer Guruji tells them that they have to find a match for him, a woman to marry, before he turns 29. After that, all is lost. But as usual, the meeting with the potential bride doesn't go that well, and as usual, women only have eyes for his brother, who unlike him has some nice hair. On top of that, Janardhan also gets ridiculed at work, and his job as a Kannada lecturer doesn't seem to be something desirable either. Which reminded me of Ram's film Katradu Tamil, which is about someone teaching his native language as well, Tamil in that case. It certainly doesn't seem to be the most respected profession to teach one's own language and culture. And to complete our little introduction, we then also get a nice little song which is all about the pains of being bald. Ondu Muthiya Kate has a very peculiar, very low-key vibe to it. It's not a comedy that will make you laugh out loud constantly. The pacing is very slow and chill, and apart from our protagonist looking to find love, there's not that much strong emphasis on a forward-moving story. It's kind of episodic. You can easily divide the film into two halves, exactly at the halfway point of its 2-hour runtime. And you could further divide the first half into two segments, both of which are characterized by a specific new woman in Janardhan's life. There are very clear shifts, and yet they very much function like stepping stones in Janardhan's development. The ups and downs, the hopes and disappointments in his romantic life, and what that's doing with his self-esteem and outlook on his future. Like most elements, Rajbir Shetty's direction and his own performance in the lead are pretty low-key. It's not difficult to feel some sympathy for Janardhan. At the same time, you really want to grab him and shake him and tell him to make a little bit more out of himself and not be so lifeless all the time. In the latter half, our feelings for him are also a bit challenged because he's no saint either and he himself is pretty superficial when it comes to women. Story of an Egg is a nice little film that tackles topics like arranged marriage, the superstitious beliefs in astrology, and the pressures and superficialities of our society, the Indian society in particular of course. Aspects that I really liked, besides the already mentioned low-key energy vibe of it all, are the friendship between Janardhan and his colleague Srinivas, the peculiar relationship he's beginning with that mystery woman, and a few really charming songs. It's a romantic comedy drama, but it's different and at least somewhat fresh. I also enjoyed how it pays homage to the Kannada superstar Rajkumar. I personally haven't heard about him before, but Janardhan is a big fan and there are several references and throwbacks to old dialogues and songs from old movies, which was nicely integrated into the narrative. Overall, I have to say that it's still a rather long and at times dragging movie, and there are certainly some scenes that could have been written and directed better. Towards the end, it also becomes a little bit too soppy and heavy-handed. And while I appreciated the message the movie was aiming for, I also don't think it's quite believable how it is handled. Janardhan and the woman he meets could be a nice couple. Both have been rejected in the past and both have to overcome their prejudices. But I also think there's really not enough material there to make us really believe into this romance. They just met, really don't talk about anything, don't ever spend some really good time together, and just because of some misunderstanding, there is this big conflict and emotional punch. I won't lie, it had some effect on me, but I still think it's not quite earned. So in German I'd say, Story of an Egg ist ein netter kleiner Film mit einer seltsamen, charmanten und komischen Note. Er hat ein paar schöne Songs und eine gute Botschaft, kann aber auch nicht vollends überzeugen. Normally I would give Story of an Egg 6 out of 10. But because this was done by a complete newcomer and apparently it was something fresh in Kannada cinema, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's more like 6.5, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about Story of a Neck. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd and also on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for Laugh to Tell.